Hello, hello, happy Monday, and welcome to Making Waves with Moanna Adams. I'm your host, Moanna, a teenage girl with a lot to say and a lot more to learn. Today, we are talking about discipline and consistency as essential tools for personal growth, healthy habits, and success with Olivia. Olivia is going to introduce herself and tell us who she is and what she does.
Hi guys, so I'm Olivia. I have multiple social media accounts. I have an Instagram account, a TikTok account, a YouTube channel, and on all of those, I focus on self development, building healthy habits, and becoming the best version of yourself. I started social media when I was really young. I started when I was like 7 years old. I posted my first YouTube video, and I never really was consistent with it until about a year ago. And it was a year ago where I decided that I wanted to actually do something more serious with my social media channels and take it more seriously. So, yeah, that's kind of how I started out, and that's kind of my background.
I love that, and we are going to chat more about that after our segments. First is our current obsession, and this is something about or in your life you're currently loving. And this week, mine is my Uwala. I finally got one. They've been trending forever, and I've had it on my list for 3 or 4 years and never really tried it until recently, and I'm really enjoying it. I did already scratch it, so it might get some stickers soon, but I love my new water bottle. Olivia, what is your current obsession?
My current obsession is running. So I just started running. I always looked at running as something like, oh, I'd never want to do that. It seems so tiring and so like just like I wouldn't want to do it. And I started running, and the key to doing running and like actually making it enjoyable is making sure that you pace yourself correctly and you don't start running too fast too soon. And once I kind of developed that concept and understood how gradual, how it's like more of a gradual process than just jumping straight into sprinting, then I started to love it and it started to actually benefit me in a positive way. And now when I go for a run, it's a way that I get to clear my mind, and it's actually relaxing in a way because it's just oh I just love running. It's so good.
Do you listen to something while you run, or are you like a silent runner, no headphones, nothing?
No, I definitely listen. I listen to music. I like to listen to a lot of rap and R&B because it just motivates me, and yeah, that's what I do when running.
What's your current favorite song when you run?
Um, my I don't really have a favorite song, but I like to listen to Travis Scott, and also I've been listening a lot to Juice World lately. I've always listened to Juice World, but lately I've gone back to his music, and I just love listening to it when I run.
I love that. I've been exploring lots of different music recently, and rap and R&B are the next sections or genres of music on my list, so I'm definitely going to add that. And then our second segment is High Tide. And this is a motivational, inspirational, or self help recommendation. And this week, mine is learning a new language, which also goes with the music I was just talking about. I have always been so interested in languages. I have studied ASL, Spanish, and now I'm working on French. I'm not fluent in any of them, but I'm getting the basics down of each. And I recently started listening to a lot of French music, which is really fun. And really good in the background because I don't know the words. It's kind of similar to having like white noise where it's not as distracting when I'm working, but it's not just instruments. So I'm really loving learning a new language. And I think it's a really great way to get inspired by other cultures. Olivia, what is your high tide?
So I love to watch self-development YouTube channels and read loads of books which focus on self-help and business and again personal development. Some of my favorite YouTubers to watch currently are Iman Ganzi, and he focuses on a lot of like the business side and how to become rich and how to actually get the most out of your life. As well as that, I like to listen to the YouTuber Ali Abdal, and he talks a lot about productivity, how to be productive, how to make the most out of your days. Some of the books which I would really recommend when you first start to kind of want to develop yourself, want to develop good healthy habits, is the book Atomic Habits. It's really good. It's easy to understand. It's really good for beginners, and it's just a really easy read. And yeah,
I love that. I am definitely a self help reader. My favorite self help author is Brianna Weiss. She wrote 101 essays that will change the way you think. That is my all time favorite book, and I talk about it all the time. Atomic Habits is on my list, so I definitely am hoping to get that one done this year.
Yes, I definitely recommend that one.
So let's get into the episode, and we're going to start out with why. So, what does discipline mean for you, and why is it crucial for personal development?
So for me, discipline has kind of been this magical thing because before that, I kind of just relied on motivation. And let's be honest, motivation is never constant, it fluctuates. You can never be motivated for long enough to actually achieve anything. So once I discovered discipline and the importance of discipline, it really allowed me to achieve everything that I want to achieve. And it just made me realize how you kind of have to build these habits to force yourself to be disciplined rather than motivated, because a lot of people kind of have the wrong idea that motivation is the only thing that can get them through life or get them to do anything. But it really is discipline and consistency. So like when those two ideas are put together, discipline and consistency, you can literally achieve anything that you want to do. And that's why I keep on in loads of my YouTube videos, I constantly reiterate how important discipline is. And once you have built a habit out of something, it's really easy to just be disciplined because a habit just becomes something normal and something that you don't even have to think about doing.
Why are discipline and consistency specifically important for teenagers, especially in achieving long term goals?
So it's really important for teenagers, especially if, so first of all, there's going to be a lot of exams going on, and as a teenager, there's just a lot of stress of growing up and actually knowing what you want to do in life. And one thing is, you can really, by being disciplined, you can really help build the foundations of your life. And I feel like if you're disciplined and you get that mindset when you're a teenager, it's going to make your adult life and adulthood much, much easier. So let's say you build a habit of, I don't know, reading 10 pages of a book every single day. And if you carry that into adulthood, imagine how much you can learn from just reading 10 pages of a book every single day over like a 5 year period. Because 10 pages every single day doesn't seem like a lot, but it's the compounded amount of those 10 pages that is what really has effect in your future. And so this is why for teenagers especially, it's really good to start building those habits of discipline now and consistency because it's just going to make your adulthood a lot easier.
I was just talking about that in last week's episode, especially with reading. I was sharing habits that I feel like have really changed my life, and reading and that compounding of, building your vocabulary and learning more just a little bit even every day is so important. How do consistency and discipline work together?
So, discipline can only be achieved with, you're really going to achieve much of discipline unless you're consistent with it. So, when you're disciplined, it's all good to be disciplined and everything. You'll go to the gym every morning, but unless you're actually consistent with it, you're not really going to see any results. So, it's really like the two of those match together, which is like the power. So, when you have discipline, when you have the mindset of, oh, I'm going to go to the gym every single morning. And it's not until you actually be consistent with it that you're going to see results from the gym. Because it's all good being disciplined and having like a good disciplined mindset, but it's actually the consistency that will bring you the results.
For you personally, when motivation is lacking or was lacking, how have discipline and consistency helped you achieve goals?
So I rarely have motivation because motivation is just, it, like I said, it fluctuates, especially after a long day, let's say at college. I really can't be bothered to do anything. But the power of discipline has allowed me to not only get stuff done, even when I'm tired after school, but it's allowed me to actually achieve my goals and achieve certain grades that I really want to get. So every time after college when I'm not motivated, it's okay to give yourself a break. You also need a break. You need to have that balance between your home life and your college life or your work life. But it's also important that you kind of build habits into your day, into your after school, into your after work routine that just kind of become normal to you, and you don't have to feel motivated to do it because it's just part of your daily routine.
So let's talk about implementing this into your daily routine. What does your daily routine look like, and how do you ensure that you stay disciplined and consistent with your habits?
So, an average day in my life would be, let's take today for example. So, today I wake up at 6:30 a.m. I try to do this every day during the week, other than Sunday. I'll let myself rest a bit longer. But during the week, I'll wake up around like 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m., and then I'll go to the gym. I'll be at the gym by 7 a.m. I'll do my routine. I'll be there for about an hour, hour and a half. I'll come back home, and depending on what time I start college, I'll sometimes try to fit in a little bit of revision. And I'll either do revision or I don't know, look at emails, try to get some work done. I forgot about this. This is a really important point. When I wake up, first thing I do is I obviously go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, wash my face, and it's become so automatic that I even forgot to mention it. But I always read 10 pages of a book every single morning. Before I do anything else other than brushing my teeth and washing my face, I'll always read 10 pages of a book. Then I will stretch, I'll make sure that my blood circulation is going, I'll make sure that I'm in the right mindset for everything. And then I'll get ready, go to the gym, I'll come back. Sometimes I'll have time for meditation, but lately I've been quite busy. I would ideally want to also meditate, but it's something that I'm still working on. Once I am done with my revision or work, I'll go to college. College usually lasts like a few hours. And then after college, I'll probably do some more work, some more revision, do homework if something. Every day is kind of different, but my morning routine stays like quite the same every single day. And yeah, that's basically what I do during my day.
So, what strategies do you use to keep this consistent morning routine? Like, what tools and systems you use to track it and make sure that you're getting things done?
So for my reading of a book habit, I make sure to keep my book on my bedside table. It's always on my bedside table because it's easily accessible and I don't have to think about it. I don't have to think about what book I'm going to read. It's already there, it's ready. For going to the gym, I'll plan my gym outfit the day before so it motivates me to go. And again, it kind of saves time. I don't have to make decisions about what I'm going to wear. I just kind of put it on and I go to the gym. I also try to make sure to drink a lot of water through the day. So I'll always have my water bottle. It's going to be filled up always so that whenever I need a drink or anything, I'll just be drinking on it throughout the day and I kind of won't have to think about it. So it's kind of about preparing it all in advance and it makes it so much easier to then actually do that habit.
Are there any apps, habit trackers, planners that you've used in the past that have really helped you build that consistency?
I really like to use Notion. Notion is really good for that. I literally have everything on Notion. My whole life is on Notion. That's really it. I haven't really explored much other than maybe using my calendar on my phone, and I also have a physical planner which I like to use as well. And yeah, but I definitely would recommend Notion.
I love Notion. My whole life is on Notion too. Notion and I are besties. Let's move on to healthy eating because you recently released your ebook with recipes. So, how do you use discipline to maintain healthy eating habits?
So healthy eating is like a whole different world. Um, I've kind of healthy eating is a habit. It's a habit which you have to kind of introduce, but it's not only a habit, it's a lifestyle. So the way I see healthy eating is it's kind of just become my lifestyle. And I've stopped looking at it as, I don't know, a short term fix to or like a short term little diet that I'm doing. I've developed a mindset that it is a way that I want to live. Healthy eating isn't just a short term thing which I'm gonna do for a small period of my life, but it's actually a lifestyle and it's something that I want to carry on for the rest of my life. So it wasn't until I developed this mindset that I was able to actually stay consistent with healthy eating and actually be able to enjoy it as well because it wasn't seen as something that I was forced to do, but rather something which I chose to do for myself and for my own well being.
So, how do you stay balanced between healthy eating and cravings and busy schedules?
So with the healthy eating, I stay balanced because I find alternatives for let's say I used to eat like a lot of I used to love like pancakes, waffles, and I developed alternatives with my own recipes. So I basically made a healthy version of it. So instead of, I don't know, adding sugar to my pancake or waffle mix, I'll add a banana to sweeten it instead. And it's these small little changes. And once you find a replacement for, let's say, I don't know, a cookie or like some kind of snack which you like to have, once you find that replacement, it's so easy to just always make sure it's there so that if you have that craving, you could just eat it. Or find like other healthy things which you like. So one thing that I always like to eat as like my dessert is a granola bowl. I love to just eat yogurt, fruit, granola. It's such an easy way to satisfy that sweet craving. And also you are making sure that it's balanced because you have the nutritions from the fruit, from the yogurt, from, I don't know, any nut butter that you add. So it's all about making sure that you are looking at the nutrients of your food and kind of looking at how it will benefit you instead of just saying, oh, I'm craving a donut, I'm going to eat a donut. You kind of look at something as a more long term thing rather than just eating a donut for that short term pleasure of satisfaction. You kind of have, once again, developed that mindset to eat the alternatives and eat the things which are right for your body.
So, how do these small, consistent changes lead to sustainable, healthy benefits, and how do they compound over time?
So these small changes have really, really helped me in actually getting a really healthy and fit body. And it was just this. So first, when I started healthy eating, it was kind of like not much was changing. I always just questioned, is there even a point? Why don't I just go eat what I'm actually craving? And it wasn't until like a good month passed, maybe even like 6 weeks, that I actually noticed changes, not only in my mental health, but also physically. I physically started to see changes in my face, in my body. And I wasn't even exercising that much around then. It was purely the food which was changing me. I also just started to see life much more positively and became much more grateful overall about, I don't know, the food we have and everything that just kind of goes on in life because I started to look at food as kind of a gift and something more than just because I'm hungry, I'm going to eat it. There's actually a meaning behind why I'm eating it, and it's just made me have like a completely different perspective on life.
So, what are some obstacles that you faced while making these healthy changes, and what are some common obstacles that other teenagers you know have faced that make it difficult for teens to stay disciplined and consistent?
So one of the most difficult things is, well, obviously I'm a teenager, I'm in college, and it's really hard because everybody around you isn't doing the same thing. Everybody around you, let's say I go to a party or something, they're all going to be, I don't know, drinking alcohol, they're all going to be eating cakes and like everything which I'm trying not to consume. And it's really hard to not be influenced by them because as a teenager, you want to fit in. You want to be like everybody else because you want to make yourself seem like this perfect person. But it's all about having the ability to not give in and having the ability to know that you have control over your life, not somebody else, not your friends. You don't have to do something just because your friends are doing it. Because, yet again, it will only be a short term thing. How will this thing benefit you in the long term? You have to kind of think about it from your perspective and stop trying to fit in just because your friends are doing it or just because everybody else is doing it. Because it's all about how you will take control of your life. And when we become adults, we're not going to be looking at what our friends are doing. We're not always going to be living in the shadow of our friends or copying what other people are doing because eventually we'll have to take control of our lives and we'll have to choose our own like path in life. So the earlier you realize that, the easier it is for you to be able to resist these things. And yeah, it just becomes easier the more consistent and the more disciplined you get. It just becomes easier and easier as you get older.
What mindset shifts have helped you maintain this consistency and discipline?
So some mindset shifts are I try to not look at things negatively. So the moment I feel like I'm making like a negative comment or I'm thinking about something negatively, I try to flip it and I try to think about it in a positive way. So let's say, I don't know, it's raining outside and I don't want to go outside, oh, because it's raining, I'm going to get wet. Then I try to look at it in a positive way. I'm like, okay, the air's going to be nice and fresh after it stops raining. I'm gonna have an umbrella. It's gonna be fine. Once I get into college, it's gonna be nice and dry. So it's just these small changes in your mindset and kind of stop looking at things in a negative light and constantly thinking about things which kind of attract negativity towards you, because what you believe actually it becomes reality. And if you constantly think about things in a negative way, they will become real. They will actually be attracted to you, and you'll be attracting those things into your life. So the moment you think about something in a positive way, the easier it is for you to attract the right things into life and kind of view it from a different perspective. And yeah, it's just those small changes in thinking about things more positively than negatively.
What is the importance of self compassion while staying disciplined? And how do you avoid burnout and not being too hard on yourself when maybe you mess up or you miss a habit one day?
So for me, it's really hard because I really like to stay in a routine. But how do I avoid burnout? I avoid burnout by making sure I give myself those days where, I don't know, I watched a Netflix TV show with my mom, or I go out with my friends, I go to a little cafe, enjoy, I don't know, a matcha cafe, go out to town, go shopping. I give myself those days where I can just do whatever I want and I can spend time away from work or school. And one thing that's really helped me is picking the right people around you. So, picking wisely who you choose to be your friend. And if you surround yourself by the right people, it's really easy to just kind of achieve what you want to achieve out of life. And I kind of avoid burnout this way because not only am I surrounded by good people, but when I don't, for example, do my usual routine, it doesn't make me feel bad because I learn something else from being with these people, from hanging out with these people. So it's kind of like, yeah, basically just surround yourself by the right people and give yourself the days where you just don't have to do anything. Also, make sure that you separate your work life or your college life from your home life and give yourself at least like an hour during the day to chill, to rest, and to actually reflect on what you've done in the day and maybe show some gratitude, show some mindfulness, and kind of be appreciative of what you've already done in the day so that you don't just look at what you haven't done, but focus on what you have already done.
So, shifting over to making waves, how do you define success in your field and growing your social media and doing school?
So I define success as honestly, I don't really know because I wouldn't really call myself a success yet because I feel like I've still got a long journey ahead of myself. But I would say success is growing that community and having a community which supports you and constantly inspires you and motivates you to want to keep creating videos. I would also define success as something which brings you joy and something which you actually feel like has a benefit to your life. Um, yeah, that's basically how I would define success.
Within creating content and doing school, what makes you feel like you're getting farther towards your goals?
Okay, so what makes me feel like I'm getting further towards my goals is not comparing myself to these big creators or to people which, I don't know, have like a million followers or a million subscribers. I stopped comparing myself to these because everybody started somewhere. Everybody was once a beginner. So if you constantly look at what you don't have instead of focusing what you have already gained, it's going to be really hard to appreciate what you have already achieved. So if I compare myself to where I was a month ago, I can see much more progress than if I was to compare myself to, I don't know, what I am today compared to yesterday. So you have to kind of look at your own goals and what you have achieved in that time. The same applies to school. Let's say, I don't know, you weren't getting the grades you wanted to get like a few months ago, and now you've increased your grade by one grade. It may not seem like a lot, but you've still improved in some way. So you have to stop comparing yourself to others. That's a really big thing. Just stop comparing yourself to others and look at your own successes and your own achievements before you can kind of compare and try to compete with other people.
So, what waves or impact do you hope to make through your work creating content?
So I really want to just inspire people to become the best version of themselves. I want to help people actually develop these habits and know like the meaning behind what they are doing and why they are doing it. And I feel like my goal for my social media platforms is generally to just inspire and motivate and want to show people how good it is to actually take control of your life and be disciplined and be able to create the best version of yourself. And yeah, that's basically my main idea and goal for my social medias.
I love that. I have very similar goals with this podcast, inspiring teenagers to become a better, higher version of themselves. That's one of my favorite terms is what would my best self do? What would my highest self do?
Yes, I like that.
So, how has creating content impacted your own personal growth and mindset?
So honestly, it's just allowed me to be a lot more organized, and it showed me a different perspective to life, how life isn't always just going to be about learning like in school and all that stuff, but it's also the learning outside of school that you do. And honestly, some may argue that the learning you do outside of school is more important than what you actually do in school. And I just find that it's really, really helped me in being organized, managing my time, and just showing me these different career paths that I could take. And yeah, showing me that I don't have to, I don't know, work as an employee or go exactly down the route which school education takes you down, but also you can kind of be your own boss. You can kind of do whatever you want in this life as long as you put your mind to it and you work hard, then you will be able to achieve it.
What advice would you give to other teenagers interested in becoming the best versions of themselves or starting to create content?
My advice would be start now. Just start now. Whatever you want to do, start now because you never know. Tomorrow will never come. I don't know, you might not be on this earth in like a few months. We never know what is going to happen to us. So it's really just like starting now and stop making excuses, stop procrastinating because it's worse to regret what you haven't done than regret attempting something and failing at doing so. So I really think that it's just about my favorite quote is from Rob Moore and it's start now, get perfect later. So it's the idea that if you start now, you can always just adapt and kind of change things throughout the journey. But it isn't until you actually start that you'll be able to make that progress and kind of go towards what you want to achieve in life.
How do you plan to continue making waves in the future and continue to make an impact?
I just plan to continually grow my social media accounts, grow my platforms, create this community where everybody is like minded and everybody wants to achieve similar things. I want to be able to help people like one to one, maybe provide like coaching when I'm older, and just like find ways to help people in whatever way I can. And also, I want to constantly keep learning myself. I want to learn new things. I want to learn other ways in which I can make a change in this world. And yeah, that's basically what I would like to do.
So, looking back for this week's homework, what is one thing you wish you knew you started, or what is the first step you would take if you had to start over?
My first thing I would do is to stop caring what other people think. Because ever since I was small and I had my first YouTube channel, Um, I used to do it. I did it just for fun. And then when I was in year 8 in secondary school, somebody found my YouTube channel and they told my whole class. And I was just so worried about what other people would think of me that I deleted every single one of my YouTube channels. And that's probably not my YouTube channels, every single one of my YouTube videos. And that's probably one of the biggest things I've regretted in life because all that hard work I put into those YouTube videos, I can never look back on them. I can never like be fond of those memories or be able to relive those moments because I cared so much about what other people thought. I just deleted it all. And it wasn't until about a year later that I actually decided, do you know what? I don't care what other people think because at least I'm doing something with my life. At least I want to get somewhere. And if people make fun of me, so be it. It doesn't matter what other people think of you. You just have to show them how successful you can actually become and kind of prove them wrong. And that's what gives me motivation, being able to prove them wrong and humble them and show them that, yeah, well, I did have an embarrassing YouTube channel, and so what? I actually became successful and now I'm living my best life. So it's basically just stop caring about what other people want and focus on what you want in life rather than being the perfect person which everybody else expects you to be.
I love that. That's one of my favorite things is talking about it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks as long as you're working towards your goals and trying to be the best version of you. So, where can we connect with you and learn more about your work?
So my TikTok and my Instagram is called og.eats04, and there I post loads of healthy recipes, healthy like what I eat in a day, and it just basically gives you some inspiration on how you can start eating healthy. On my TikTok, I talk a lot about like what foods are good for you, the health benefits of certain foods. I talk a lot more in depth about like healthy eating and like meanings behind everything there. On my YouTube channel, it's called Live to Learn, and that's all about self development, developing healthy habits, bettering yourself, becoming the best version of yourself. And there I focus a lot more on the whole person rather than just one healthy habit like healthy eating. So, yeah, that's where you can find me. And my new ebook can be found in the links of my bio in my Instagram, TikTok. You can probably find it in the bio of my videos on my YouTube channel. And yeah, that's how you can find me.
Amazing. All of her links will be in the episode notes. You can go follow her. And thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much.
And thank you so much for listening. If you love this podcast and you want to show your support, please leave a rate and review. You can follow me on social media at the moannaadams or at makingwaves.ma. Be sure to follow this show so you never miss another episode. Don't forget to drink your water, and I will talk to you later.